Good morning, everybody. How we doing today? Good morning. Such beautiful faces in the morning that we have. This is fantastic. I will be your substitute teacher today for our Tuesday sales meeting. I know Craig is on there taking some notes, man. Take a look at this presentation. I think it looks pretty sexy, by the way. But we're just going to go ahead and get into it today. Let's see, Rachel, if you can, please, we're going to add you into the group to promote you so you can do your portion of the meeting. So you'll be getting promoted here in just a second. So please don't decline. Pretty pleased with sugar on top. Well, so we should actually start. What's the day? What day is it today? Anybody? Tuesday, the 13th, which is the 13th day of the month. What month are we in? 6 months in. So we're already halfway through the year. Second quarter, almost into the second quarter.
It's the second week of
Sixth month of the 13th day of the year, which is fantastic. So let's go ahead and pull up this presentation once you get them in there.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get everybody who came in late.
Oh, by the way, as we're pulling everything up real quick, it is the middle of the year. And if you guys are not familiar with the Pacesetter Awards for Century 21, it's basically set up with the Century 21 goals in mind. So Ruby, Diamond, Centurion, and they actually have these awards that are coming out if you're on pace to actually be able to actually hitting that. So this is a fantastic time to revisit some of those goals for the rest of the year to see if you're on pace to do that or not. And what are the things you're going to need to do to be able to hit that goal? So let's go ahead and kind of get started here. Come on, everybody clap. Isn't that pretty? Isn't that pretty? No? Okay. So, all right, cool. Let's go ahead and get into some of our quotes. Chris, if you want to take the first one, once we get going.
Well, you want to start off with the intro?
Don't let this market affect your ability to take listings. The following are the thoughts to hopefully inspire you to keep doing your best each day.
Number one, success at anything will always come down to focus and effort, and we can control both.
Can you? Mm-hmm. You can, right?
Absolutely.
Number two, actually, hey, Mike Puma, you want to hit number two?
Sure. You can't get much done in life if you only work on the days you feel good.
I mean, that's so true, right? Number three, work until you no longer have to introduce yourself. I like that one. That's fun. Hey, Kat, how about number four?
Hey, good morning. Formal education will make you a living. Self-education will make you a fortune. Right on.
Fantastic. Yes. And then number five, how about Thomas?
Dream big, stay positive, work hard, enjoy the journey. So true. It's all about the journey.
Man, that kind of reminds me of what Chris was talking to me yesterday, which you'll hear a little bit here in a second from what he went to Matthew Ferry for the weekend. And he's got some little pointers for us today, which is pretty cool. All right, awesome. So today, just so you know, we took your feedback from the survey that we sent out a couple weeks ago. So we have made some adjustments going forward with some of the trainings and stuff that we have going on. Some of it we're going to keep the same because you guys have told us that you love the information that we're delivering here. But we're going to kind of go through this quickly for you so we can move on to the other meetings too. So let's go ahead and start off with Megan with Paramount Title real quick. How are you doing today? Oh, she's driving.
I am. I had to go to our South Tampa office this morning. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
I hope everybody had a great class on Title Toolbox on Thursday. It was really good information. We had a lot of people sign up. So if you haven't reached out to me and you still want to get signed up, just send me an email or send me a text. And I'll get you guys signed up. If you're having any trouble with it, let me know. Or if you want a training on it, we can go one-on-one and we can go over the tools that Title Toolbox has.
Fantastic. Give me a raise of hand, everybody that's on the call right now in the room that actually reached out to Megan to get Title Toolbox. Okay, we got one in the room. Anybody else online? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm 6 because I definitely reached out. This is just another fantastic tool that to me kind of ties into what Remind can kind of do. And it gives you some not just when you're farming. I think it's great because we're talking a lot about farming right now, but it does so much more than that. So if you missed the training last week, please get in there, watch the recap, send Megan an email so you can actually get an account set up. So you'll have just some more tools in your tool belt that you can actually go and help your clients out and your business. So thank you, Megan. Appreciate it. Anything coming up here? Anything coming up?
So in July, we're gonna do, so a couple months ago, we did Q&A with Title, and Misty and I, and we got on a trading and answered some questions and did some giveaways. That's gonna be July. So we are gonna actually have Jeff Schwartz, one of our attorneys, on the call with us for July. So if you guys have any questions that you want, you want answers to by one of us or by Jeff, send me an email with them now so we can prepare Jeff to have the answers. And we'll kind of have like the same questions and answers as last time and go in more detail with having Jeff as the attorney on there. But we want to take your questions too. And then there will be more giveaways. We'll do some raffles and gift cards on that call as well. So that'll be on the second Thursday in July.
Fantastic. Thank you, Megan. Appreciate it. You
You're
have a
very welcome. Everybody has a wonderful week.
You too. Thank you.
Thank
All
you.
right, next up, we have Rachel Jordan. We just received the June edition of Keeping Current Matters. So what we know that you guys love actually kind of seeing the market recaps. Oh, that was close. Recaps. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a little chunk of this for the next probably couple weeks to kind of go over, and then you'll get these slides. We'll clean them up, give them our colors and stuff like that, and you can use them however you deem necessary. So Rachel's going to go over the first portion of Keeping Current Matters here. So whenever you're ready, Rachel, we'll control
Okay.
the slides for you, okay?
Thank you. Okay, so the section I'm going over today is going to be mortgage rates. And pretty much T-bills and mortgage rates move in tandem with about a 1 3/4 spread. That's been true for the last 50 years, which is what this is showing you. So that's been a pretty steady rate, but it's changed this year. It has gone to, with the next slide, for this year, the average has gone from a 1.72 spread to a 2.96 basis point spread. So the gap has widened, and it really pretty much does that during times of economic uncertainty, which is the next quote that we have from George Rattui. That that happened back in the early 1980s, if anybody's old enough to remember. And then in the financial crisis of 2008 and 2009, that spread widens when consumer confidence is under duress. And then the next one, we have the 10-year and then the 30-year, and that shows you on those places. You can see the biggest spike was in the early 1980s. That's when we had 14% interest rates on homes, as hard as that is to believe. And then in 2008, of course, it widened, and we're seeing it widen right now. So what does this mean for you? Well, we have a quote from Odetta Cushy, the next one. She is the chief economist of the First American Corp, and her whole job is to predict what's going to go on in real estate. They handle title. And she thinks that if the Fed takes its foot off the tightening pedal and lets the rates balance out, that it's going to create the more certainty, and we will be back not quite where that one historic 1.72 basis spread was, but a little bit closer. And that's what she shows on the next slide. So why are mortgage rates so high? Because the spread that's above the T-bill right now is dramatic. We've gone from a historic average of 1.72 to where we're currently sitting is 3.2. That is quite a big spread to increase. And Odetta doesn't feel like it's ever going back to the 1.72 because of the economic factors we're dealing with now, but she thinks the more reasonable rate is what's going to be on that last slide. You can see that's going to push the mortgage rate back down to below 6%, which will increase consumer confidence. So we should be good. But the takeaway from this for us is that when economic times tighten, that buyer pool tightens. So if we want to be at the table, we need to have the listings. So it's the difference between, right now there are still a lot of buyers, or there were historically the last few years, and it was easy for them to get credit, and we could have, you could run a whole business just doing buyers. Now it's not going to be the true. If you want a seat at the table rather than fighting for scraps on the floor, you got to get those listings.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I mean, that's so true. I mean, they talked about, and we've talked about it for the past couple of weeks, how many how many home sales are there going to actually, how many transactions are there going to be at home sales are going to be? So it's dipping down into the 4 million, was it 4.2,
We did-
4.3?
So
Somebody said?
2 years ago, we had the most amount of home sales we ever had, 6.2 million home sales. Last year was 5.9, and this year they're projecting it to be between 4.4 and 4.6. So you're going to see just over 1 million home sale decline. And you can see at times of economic certainty, they start playing with all of the interest rates, changing a lot of things around. And we're going to raise rates, we're going to lower rates, we're going to change this. And then we had the debt ceiling issue. So there's a lot of uncertainty in the economy right now, which is why things have been all over the place.
And out of that 4.7, 4.5, 4.9, whatever it's going to be, that's the amount of sales. So you got to think there's going to be a ton that when there's two sides to that, right? So if you want both sides, you need the listings. If you want to play that game, you really need to have the listing. So awesome. Thank you. Next up, Chris is going to talk a little bit about his Matthew Ferry experience.
So this past weekend, I went to with Craig and Jeff went to a Matthew Ferry event, and he had an event called Peace, Purpose, and Prosperity. And so anybody who here, if you attended his Art of Magnetism class that he did, anybody attend that? Got a couple online, and I know he did like a 2-hour class for the company, and then he was pitching his Art of Magnetism course, which is a weekly thing. And I know there's quite a few people that have signed up for that, and it's really valuable. It's just he has a whole completely different perspective on, he calls it enlightened goal setting. So the current model of success, in his opinion, from what he states, is broken. The current model of success is grind, work harder, show up, do more, take massive action, do all this. And his philosophy is, I'd rather you take inspired action. And going through his philosophy of peace, purpose, and prosperity, he says, find peace, be at peace with yourself. When you're at peace and you're no longer in resistance of everything around you, you are shown and drawn to your purpose. And when you are at peace and finding your purpose, then your prosperity is activated and accelerated. So you can earn more income, you can do more things that make you feel more fulfilled and inspired by getting at peace. And so I wrote down a few different things, a few different points. And if you like some of the talk track that I'm talking on, I'll probably expand more on this tomorrow. So show up tomorrow in Wednesday's class. So I just want to leave you with a few different thoughts that really resonated with me from this event. So first, he talked about sharpening the axe. So he said, let me tell you a story about a lumberjack. There's a lumberjack, a young guy came into the business, and he's got his axe with him. He shows up, he starts chopping trees, and he's chopping more trees than anybody else. He is just completely outshining everybody, twofold more than anybody else in the same amount of time. And they come to him and ask him, what is your secret? What is it? And he goes, I just show up and I take action and I get things done. And I take massive action and I keep going and going and going. And I'm really driven to work. A few years later, they come by and he's cutting down about half the amount of trees as everybody else and working twice as much. And they're wondering why. And they're asking him, what's going on? What happened? And his response was, well, back then when I was working, I wasn't working quite as much. I had time to sharpen my axe. And when I sharpened my axe, I was able to cut more trees in the same period of time. Now I've been working so hard, pushing and fighting through to get all of these things done that it's taken all of my time away that I was using to sharpen my axe. And I'm chopping with a blunted axe now. So just a reminder to take time to sharpen your axe. Sometimes we are pushing so hard and forcing ourselves so much to do all of these things, we forget that the axe that needs to be sharpened sometimes is your mind. The axe that needs to be sharpened sometimes is your soul and your emotions and your purpose and your peace. Sometimes that needs to be sharpened as well. But too many times we are focused on sharpening our skills, sharpening our knowledge, sharpening the things that are going on. And that was a big takeaway for me, is sometimes you do have to take some time to sharpen the axe that is your mind. A couple other thoughts. Your limitations are illusions, and they're nearly always self-imposed. Your limitation is not what's going on in the market. Your limitations are not what somebody else has done inside of your neighborhood, got all these listings. Your limitations is not what you have not done. Your limitations are illusions, and we typically impose them on ourselves. You can do anything that you would like to do. You know, you can literally just get out and achieve anything that you want if you remove those limitations, and he calls those resistance. Anytime you have limitations, you are resisting something. You are putting up some type of resistance to getting the things that you really want. And another thought that he talks a lot about on is acknowledge that you are the creative force in the universe. You are, he says, and this is a little woo-woo kind of, you are creation creating. And I'll stop with that. I won't go too much deeper on that, but you are the creative force. And it aligns with a lot of the things that you hear from so many other people, like, you know, like Tony Robbins and Les Brown and Jim Rohn. It's not what happens to you, it's how you react to what happens to you. You don't create the events in your life or the circumstances in your life or the things that are surrounding you. You create your perspective of them, which is why you can go to a movie and have two people go to a movie, walk out of it and ask two people the same question. What did you think of the movie? One says it sucked. The other thinks it was awesome. The same circumstance, but each one of them created a different perspective of that. And if you focus on finding more peace, then you can actually start to create a different perspective of everything that goes on around you. And he goes on to say, practice complete and total acceptance of everything and everybody around you. Even a person that pisses you off, even a thing that seems like is not going your way and is causing you to not be able to thrive, can practice complete and total acceptance of that. Because the quicker that you can accept that that thing is happening, it's not good or bad, it just is. You have to find a way to recontextualize that and say, what is the blessing here? How could this be of benefit to me? How could this be awesome for me? How could this really help me thrive? How can I find that in every single moment? And that's finding complete and total acceptance of everything and everybody around you. And life is whole and complete and perfect exactly how it is. He calls it the perfect game. Whatever comes to you, take it. Whatever opportunities are there, jump into them. Whatever happens in life, deem it and claim it as perfect, complete and total and perfect exactly how it is. And stop resisting, because your resistance to the things that are going on around you is actually what's keeping you inside your own little bubble. If you opened up to more and accepted a little bit more, you wouldn't be resisting those things. And the last thought I'll leave you with is, he says, why is this important? Why is finding peace and purpose and prosperity important? It's because the grind that got you here is not the grind that's going to get you there. The grind that got you here is not going to get you there. We think that if we just work a little bit harder, if we just do a little bit more, that's going to end up creating success. Most times that's just going to continue on with that grind. He calls us grindaholics. We just continue to grind. And success is on the other side of the next deal. It's on the other side of the next commission check. Success is on the other side of the next business or the next thing that I'm going to do. You have to find the way to create that peace and purpose inside of you to start welcoming in prosperity. And those are just some simple thoughts. And I know sometimes they get a little woo-woo for a lot of us, but I really enjoyed the event. It was an excellent event. It was very opening for me. So I'll probably share some more tomorrow and really kind of get into deep with some tactics tomorrow, trying to just give you some different things to think about.
Yeah, for those of you that don't know, when Chris goes to these events and he really gets something from it, like he comes back almost like a different person every single time. And that's one of the things that, you know, I enjoy about him, because he just takes this and he has this energy. And I mean, we've been talking about this for we just talked about it yesterday, and I was just it made more sense for this than some of the other things that he did. But show up tomorrow, listen to him tomorrow, come to the Powell Beach and listen to it, because I'm sure you're going to get something from it, from what he got. So thank you, Chris. I appreciate it. So, all right. So let's see. Thomas and Otis, we had a mastermind yesterday. I thought was pretty good. I don't know if you want to go ahead and give a little recap of kind of what we're focusing on this month or this week, and your thoughts.
Yeah, Thomas and I are focusing on listings as we have, and the action that we have created for everyone is to find 5 CMAs, find 5 homeowners to give CMAs to. So that could be advocates, people who love you, trust you, and want to give you business, to people on Remind that may have a high sell score. But the mission is 5 CMAs for homeowners that you know or that you want to know. Thomas, did I miss anything?
Also, too, we talked about people doing open houses, being proactive, doing a 5-5-10, going talking to the neighbors, building rapport with them, letting them know about the different programs that we may have as far as if they don't want to sell, about using doing a HELOC and using the equity in their home to buy an investment home. So another way to send out CMAs as well to those individuals to let them know. Also, just having a conversation with them and let them ask them, what brought you to the area? What do you like about the area? If you were to move, where would you move to? How soon would you move? Just having those conversations with them as well. Just not passing out flyers and say we have an open house, but knocking on their doors and giving a personal invitation.
That's perfect. If you need opportunities for open houses, go into Stellar MLS on your main page under the My Listings section. It says My Office Listings, My Firm Listings. That'll list the company, Century 21 Beggins, and every other office. You can look up listings, call the listing agent, ask somebody if you can hold their listing open. And then go find 5 people in the neighborhood that you can provide a CMA to inside that neighborhood. They know that home is on the market. That home going on the market may have affected the value of your home.
Mhm.
Would you like me to email, text, or drop it off on your doorstep or knock on their door and have a conversation with them?
And tune in Thursday. We're doing a Moxie Tactical Thursday, and I'm going to show you some cool tools that Ange actually is using over in South Tampa to kind of help deliver, some of these things a little bit differently. So I'd highly recommend on Thursday to jump in, because you got till the next week to get these 5 done. And if you're working open houses, that's cake. It's very easy to get those 5 done.
Absolutely. It's non-intrusive, so it's just easy.
Right.
Very easy to have a conversation.
All right. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. Okay, Joy. So we're going to talk a little bit about some numbers. Joy said, I want to do this. I want to talk
Morning.
about how we are doing. Is it on? Is the green light on?
I think so.
Yeah, you're good.
Can you
So
hear me?
Yep.
Good morning.
everybody, if you don't know this is Joy Brown. Yes, she's very, very important. Remember, she pays you. So I'm just saying, that's not the only reason. She's awesome too, but
That's the reason.
Yeah.
So you notice that everything is in purple because obviously that's my favorite color. So we wanted to go over the numbers and we're not replacing Craig, but maybe we could. I don't know. Little competition. What do you think? We're
It's a monthly segment where Joy comes in and talks about the numbers once a month on the things. Maybe that would be pretty.
Yes,
that would be good.
somebody write that down. I think we should definitely do that.
Yeah. So hello, where are all the hands up saying, oh my gosh, I love, oh, there you are. Oh, guys, you guys are amazing. So, all right, you want,
We definitely need to, she needs to come up here more than once a month because we're getting more chats with her. All
all right.
right, so yeah, you can start on the right. You go ahead and talk about, all right, what are we doing for this month so far?
So far, we're doing really good. I think Craig is going to be excited because we're going to hit over 2 million again. So, so far we've closed over 40 transactions. That was as of yesterday for a total of 472,000. Great job. Pending to close, we have another 147. Jessica and I are going to knock it out of the park for another 1,775,000. But remember, you need to turn your stuff in today. This month is your last month for the second quarter. So you have until, I think it's July 5th. So we're off on the 4th, which is a Tuesday. We have to have everything in to count for that second quarter by July 5th. There is no exceptions. And that is the end of the Pacemaker Award as well.
So on the same note with that, do you know that when we get down to the end of a month, Joy literally starts hunting down title companies, checks, closings, settlement statements, and you as agents to try to make sure she's able to get everything closed for you, for the company as well. So if you can do her a favor, as we come near the end of the month, if you have a closing that's on in the last week of any month, don't let them handle or don't let them mail that check over, especially if it's the last couple days of the month. Make sure you pick that check and settlement statement up and bring it to the office or bring it to your respective office, and they'll make sure it gets put in. And it's simply because a lot of title companies don't overnight checks all the time. They drop it in the mail, and when we're calling to look for it, they're like, I sent it out 5 days ago. It should be there. I guess I'll have to cancel the check and mail another one. So if you could really help her out, if you have a closing the last week, the last couple days of any month, make sure that you are physically grabbing the documentation, or do me a favor and you do the follow-up. Call the title company. I know we get paid at closings and you get your check at closing, but we also need you to be a little bit more responsible for the company side of the check as well, and following up with that to make sure that we get the settlement statement and the check for the company mailed out or picked up and delivered, please.
Yes, and I do have to give a little kudos to John Evans because he actually did bring me his check. I think it was like 6:30. Yeah, it was like 6:30, and it was this almost the last day. So I have to give him kudos.
The statement that I made is slightly selfish because I have to work in the same building with Joy, and when it comes
Yes.
to the end of the month and she's trying to get things done and you walk by her office, you can feel the heat fuming out of
And a
there.
little stress.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. So I'm just saying, help me out. I mean, I don't want to be that person, but I will be that person if you need me to. But this is the last month for the second quarter. And if you guys want to go on that top agent event, like, the Rays game last week, I saw lots of pictures, then you need to get your money turned in.
Yes, please. Well, and I know I don't think it's in here, but as of right now, we don't have one contract that has passed the closing date right now,
No.
as of yesterday.
Yes.
So we don't have one. So thank you. That should make Craig happy too, because if it goes over that date, it should either be extended or it should be canceled and back on the market, right? So let's talk a little bit more about some of these other numbers that you see up here. So first off, so far this month, we've taken 30 listings. Okay. So as a brokerage, you've taken 30 listings. Now, what you're going to see on this is each week, this is going to start updating on the left-hand side because the right is all of June. All of June last year, we did a total of 122 listings. We're almost halfway through June and we've taken 30 so far. Next step I want to kind of talk about is in last year in June, we had 8 expired listings. So far, we've had 5 so far. So we kind of discussed this in the manager meeting a little bit yesterday too. We're probably going to start seeing that a little bit more as the market's shifting and changing, right? So, but that, as Chris was talking about, kind of helping us out, on the company standpoint, you guys run your own business. So we need to make sure, and you need to ensure as you're going through your contracts and these things are happening, it should never get to the point that if it gets expired, that we're running and fighting to figure out how to get this thing extended or back on the market. You should know when a closing date's coming. You should know when it's going to expire. I mean, shoot, MLS sends emails to you and says, hey, and then usually Ange ends up sending us something saying, hey, this is going to expire. What are we doing with this listing?
And on MLS, on your My Listing section, it shows up in red, expiring listings, and it starts out 14 days out. You can see in red in the My Listing section. So always pay attention to those.
I mean, we didn't even have to talk about that at all. Like, it's been a while since we've talked about expireds, but it's just one of those things with the market shifting we need to be on top of. I mean, heck, I'd go into my calendar if I have any listing right now, and I would put the date that it actually expires on there because it could sell in 5 days. It could take 6 months. I've seen properties on the market for almost 400 days, right? So, there's some extensions that are in there as we're kind of shifting in the market.
And if you're looking for a new avenue of business to start getting into, look up expired, canceled, withdrawn listings. It's an opportunity that you're going to be able to start converting a little bit more because there's going to be more of them.
So as we take a little bit more at this, and then we'll kind of move on. When you look at the amount of listings we have right now, we have 200 listings as a brokerage. I think MLS showed actually like 207 altogether is what we have. For June last year, we had 425. So those numbers aren't necessarily changing, but I mean, I feel like we've kind of come up a little bit from the last time, but I mean, 200, it's light. So we know listings are definitely key if you want to rock out with this, with your year. And then let's see, did we want to talk about any of those other things?
Yeah, but you also have to remember where we were last year and
Yes.
the year before. We only had 90. Do you remember those days where?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So
That's true.
at 90. So you guys are doing an amazing job. Just keep pushing through it. Everybody's changing. Everybody has a different reason. So opportunities are out there.
Where there's always a little bit of a lag. So these numbers, even though we're almost halfway through the month, I would say these numbers are about 30% of what the total month number will be at the end of the month.
Yeah.
So when you look at some of the numbers, we're pretty consistently about 20% down. If we say we have about 40 open sides, and last year in a crazy year, we had 200, take that 40 to 50 and multiply it by 3, you're at about 130 to 150.
Okay.
So we're about 20% down again on open sides. And you start looking at all the numbers, we're staying very consistent, but the reason we're being consistent is because of the actions that you guys are continually taking. So just if we continue to focus on our listings, if we continue to focus on finding and creating the opportunities rather than being dictated by what the economy and the market and everything else is doing, we're going to continue to thrive and we'll stand out more than every other company that's out there. So it's predicated on you guys continually showing up and us continually showing up to try to give you more things to do and to help you out as much as we can. So number one, kudos to you guys. I appreciate everything you're doing. These numbers are looking awesome still. And if we continue to do this, we're going to continue to stay head over heels above everybody else.
I mean, look at where we are. Look at what we're forecasted and what we did last year too. So, I mean, we're 2.3 million. We're at 2.2.
Right.
That's a lot closer than I feel we've been in a while. So Craig should definitely be happy with that one.
And if he's not, well, we're going to take him outside.
More listening.
All right, well,
Thank you.
guys have a
Thank you,
great
Joy.
day. If you need anything, you know how to reach me. Love you guys.
Just not on Thursdays and not on Wednesdays. All right. Awesome. So let's get into, let's get into Craig's inbox, kind of change this up a little bit on how this looks. And Joe's going to go ahead and take over for a few slides here and let us know kind of what's going on.
Good morning, everyone. So we have some training recaps here. We all get these on every Monday, and sends these out. And I'll tell you, they're great because sometimes, we just can't make it at the 8:30 meeting. So it's nice to catch up ones that you missed. Save the dates here. Coming up July 6th, Paramount is doing a FIRPTA training. If you've never done a FIRPTA deal, you should take this training just so you're prepared for when something comes up. And if you don't know what FIRPTA is, you need this training.
Yeah, and that's actually going to be be done by Chantel with the tax, kind of our go-to lady on the tax side. She's going to be actually giving that training. So make sure you're here for that.
And FIRPTA it's important to know because there's some issues of if you have the buyer side, what they have to know and everything. So it's really important to take this training if you're not familiar with it. There's a Moxie Mastery on C21, June 26th. And I believe Jimmy's on that, correct, Jimmy? Isn't that the one you're on? Or
Yeah,
the national one.
I know I'm on the C21, the 26th.
Okay, yeah, so you're on that one. And then we have the national webinar is today on Moxie. In the training, what's in the training room? I don't know what that line is for. No velocity of money to be determined. We're working on a date for that. And Contract Friday is back. All right, so we're going to be doing Contract Fridays again, like we used to do.
Yep.
And
So Friday. Yep.
Yep. Okay. And then we have a new law restricting foreign investors, and that's the next slide, I believe, right, Jimmy?
It's a few down.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, well, he
Okay.
might. Let's see if it lets. Oh, cool. It let him open it up. Cool.
All right. Okay. So we have there are some restrictions now, new laws in Florida regarding investment by certain foreign entities and individuals. And this comes up, it's an issue out west. There was Chinese buying property close to military bases. And so Florida passed a law preventing Chinese and there's a list of countries here: People's Republic of China, the Russian Federation, Islamic Republic of Iran, the Democratic Peoples of Republic of Korea, Republic of Cuba, the Venezuelan regime, of Nicolas Maduro, the Syrian Arab Republic. So those are the countries that are restricted from buying property within 10 miles of a base. And I'm sorry, can you scroll down a little bit on there? Thank you. The Florida investment law restrictions, the law prohibits Florida government entities from contracting with entities of foreign countries and concerns. Basically, they're not allowed to buy any property. And you all can read this. I'm going to read this line by line for you, but the law restricts from these parties from buying anywhere within a restricted area. And some of the restrictions are within structures, bases, telephone communication, electric plants. You know, it's pretty intensive here.
Yeah, there's a lot to this. It goes into effect July 1st. And there's probably nothing you guys need to worry about just yet. And we're going to get with legal to figure out if there are any certain disclosures because that need to be made that we need to do as blanket disclosures. Because as you know, you cannot discriminate based on race, ethnicity, nationality, sex, any of those things. You cannot discriminate on that. So you cannot just blindly, pick one person and think that you have to, well, hold on, let me see if you're restricted from doing something here. Yeah. So there's going to have to be some other things that get put into place. There's also restrictions on certain entities, companies from there getting government contracts for development in certain areas as well. So there's a lot more that you probably won't have to worry about per se, but there's going to be some things that you need to be aware of. And I'm sure there'll be a lot more coming down the pipe. Just be aware that some things are going to change. You might start seeing some more of those things, and we'll make sure that we are covered and that you can have the proper disclosures that you need.
Yeah, so some of the things, oops, I'm sorry, Chris.
Oh, sorry, no, go ahead. Absolutely, go ahead.
Some of the things, if you look in that paragraph, and we might not know, critical infrastructures, including chemical manufacturing facilities, refineries, power plants, airports, telecommunications, central switching offices. I can't tell you where any central switching office is, so I wouldn't know if it was if they were buying within 10 miles. So there's some things that we're going to have to find out about this, I guess.
Yep, absolutely.
All right, thanks.
Hey, real quick, I just got some information on the velocity of money. It is
Okay.
happening. We'll make sure we send something out for everybody. So,
All right, good.
yeah, that's just the.
There's your Moxie Works. There's Jimmy McNally on the 26th, and then also June 13th at 2 p.m. on the national webinar. Thank you.
Sure.
I knew it was coming out there. And then we have new rental rental changes. All right. So right now, somebody has to, when they're renting, make a deposit. So the new law that was just signed in starting July 1st, renters may get the option to pay a monthly fee instead of a security deposit. However, the monies cannot be used to cover any damage cost. Also, this change that it's a fee may also have an effect on deposits, and here in the supporters would say the option to help renters to get into apartments without having to come up with potentially thousands of dollars in upfront money. So now today you have to go in with possibly 2 months rent ahead of time. So this is going to help people be able to get into an apartment or a home by them collecting a monthly fee as opposed to a deposit. In turn, the opponents say the fee would not be capped and the renters cannot eventually recoup the money that they might with a security deposit. So this monthly fee may just be a fee, and it's not something that at the end, when I move out and everything's okay, I get my deposit back. These are going to be moved as a fee as opposed to a deposit. So that's the way this reads. I guess more details to follow.
Yep. And then we have, since there are so many, so many homeowners that have the equity that they have, low interest rates, and they're not ready to sell, or they may be looking to do an investment and keep this property as a rental. Just a reminder, we have a relationship with a company called Listing to Leasing. If you have not used them, it's a free service to you and to the company. It's a very valuable resource. If you have a rental listing coming up, you can send an email to listings@c21be.com and ask them for more information on Listing to Leasing. You can ask them, they'll help you set up an account with them for your listing, your rental listing. That way, all you have is a link. When you put your rental on the market, there's going to be a link you put in Realtor Remarks. There'll be also a link that you can send directly to to a consumer or to another agent to send to their consumer. They click on the link and they upload everything into a portal. Rentals and tenant laws have become restrictive, and there's things you can do, can't see, shouldn't see, you're not supposed to get, but the landlord does. Listings to Leasing helps to take care of all of that. So they'll collect, they'll do a background check, credit check, they'll collect income, they'll collect bank statements, they upload everything. It goes directly to your landlord, and they can review those things and let you know if they approve or deny. It's basically a $50 fee paid by the tenant. So the other issue we see a lot of times is people putting a property on the market and then just collecting application fees, letting anybody and everybody put in applications. And we've seen some where they would have 20 or 30 applications before they'd make a decision, each at $50 to $100 a pop. And if they're making it like a profit center, just so you know, we don't do that. The fee goes directly to this company. It goes directly to Listings to Leasing. It's for the service they are providing. And you can let anybody else know that we don't touch that. We don't get any part of that application fee. It's strictly for us just to be able to vet you, the consumer, and make sure we've got a good tenant.
It's well worth it.
It's excellent.
us. Yeah.
It is excellent.
Yeah, it's a great, I use it for all of the properties I have. It's for any of the listings I do or any of the properties I have. It's been very valuable and very easy to use. And then on the next step on top of that, they are not property management though. It's strictly just for background checks, getting everything ready for your listing to get through that so you can get it on the market. We do have property management companies that we can get you to if you need resources for that.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Joe. Appreciate it. And Chris.
You're
All right,
welcome.
let's go through to some new agents that are coming on board. Let's start off with BE3 and Mike Puma.
Yeah, we've had quite a bit of growth recently, and obviously the bringing on the roaming group and them continuing to add agents there has also brought in a ton of new talent and new agents. But we are really, really excited to have Brady and Hillary on the team, and they are going to absolutely crush it. So we are really excited about the growth and going to continue at it.
Awesome. Thank you. And then Joe.
Yes, Denise Tracy, we're excited. She's just starting. She comes to us as a referral from Tony Rita, and we're getting her on board and training. We're excited to have her.
Fantastic.
And just a reminder for anybody that you work with that you feel would be a good fit for our culture, that you have a good relationship with, please pass them on to us. Give us an opportunity.
Yeah.
Give us a little handoff of them. If it's an experienced agent, you stand to possibly be able to get $2,500 as that's paid as they produce. So any referrals that you can give us to agents, we're always looking to grow and to add to our team. And it's always easier if you give us a referral for somebody that you work with, because hey, you work with us, we like you. And if you like them, we'll probably like them too. And it'll help our culture grow along with the company. And that's really what this is all about, is it's all about trying to everybody grow together to create a better atmosphere for everybody.
Awesome. Awesome. Oh, real satisfied. We looked at these. We did. Let's see. What did Craig say up there real quick?
Listing to Leasing keeps us compliant and avoids discrimination, as all tenants are treated equally.
Absolutely.
All right. So Kat, I think you're going to be up with some real satisfied surveys.
Fun
please.
stuff. Fun. The first one we see on here is for Ivy, one of my own. I'm so proud. Anthony Falsone completed a beautiful survey for Ivy on Palm Springs. It's stating, I would highly recommend Ivy in knowledge of Sarasota, Florida area. She went above and beyond all his expectations. There you have it. That's the service. And it's wonderful to see this in print. Oh, and here's another one from one of my peeps. Oh, this is a wonderful morning. This is for Jack Marola. And from Donald Ekman, he says, Jack helped me to sell my home in Sarasota for more than twice the price I paid for it in 2017. Can you believe that? Twice the price? Then he found the new house that's exactly what he was looking for and needed at the exact price that he needed. Anyone looking to buy or sell in Sarasota, please contact Jack Marola. He makes it easy and painless. Kudos. Oh, I'm so proud. These are my peeps. And we have Lauren Fleischman. She just closed the deal. Oh, you want me to stop?
No, I said she's got a book on this one.
I see. Yes, from Ebony Lawrence. I am delighted to provide a testimonial for all our exceptional real estate agent, Lauren Fleischman, throughout the home buying journey. Lauren displayed an impressive level of knowledge and expertise. This is key here. From the moment we started working with her, it was evident she had an in-depth understanding of the real estate market, knowledge, industry, neighbors, current trends. Lauren patiently answered our countless questions, explaining complex terms and processes with clarity and patience. There you have it. Magic words right there. It's practice, practice, practice. And oh, wow. Wait, there's more. What set her apart was her unwavering commitment to represent our best interests. Even when faced with unexpected hurdles, this is fantastic. Lauren demonstrated an unyielding dedication to our satisfaction. Both she and Century 21 Baggins remained by our side, going above and beyond. Thanks to Lauren's hard work, professionalism, support, making a home buying experience memorable and rewarding one. This is probably one of the best surveys I've ever read.
Oh, it's beautiful.
It is. I would frame that one. Lindsay Estes. Oh, another one of mine. Sorry. Lindsay is this is from Michael Memda. Lindsay is a great agent who took the time and patience to work with him and to find what he was looking for. Wholeheartedly endorsed Lindsay. Absolutely use her services again. Highly recommended. And then we have Christina Romero from Jacardo Investments. Super bien servicio. Amista y amiga y comprehensive, meaning that she was great service. She was wonderful and very comprehensive in everything she did.
All righty. Thank you so much for that. And then we have birthdays.
Birthdays. Angelo, Sarasota, June 14th. Happy birthday. Nicole Gonzalez, the 14th. Happy birthday. Jim Graff, happy birthday.
Uh-oh, Jimbo.
Baldwin. Oh, Sarasota, yes. Happy birthday. Margarita Shiver, happy birthday to B3. And Jennifer Merchant, B3 Pasco, happy birthday, happy birthday.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Kat. I appreciate it. And that is going to pretty much end the meeting for us today. Chris, is there anything you want to add on top of anything right now? We're good?
No, I think we're good. Any comments, anything from the panel or from the agents, anything you wanted to chime in? Thank you to all who showed up last week for the top agent event at the baseball game. Everybody had a wonderful time. So thank you all for showing up there. And
the only thing I'll chat in is I did get some emails from agents asking about pricing in the Beachmaker presentation. That has been fixed. So what we've done is if you refresh your presentation, it should have updated automatically. We've actually coded in the spreadsheet that's getting updated in real time. So as that spreadsheet gets updated by Jeff and Jamie and the team there, as units sell and as pricing changes, the pricing in your presentations as well as the website will automatically update. So I just want everyone to know that. So you'll see availability and you'll see pricing in real time.
That's pretty awesome. I
Yes.
know that's a Moxie feature since it's a live website presentation. The same thing happens when you're sending somebody a CMA, sending them your SPA through Moxie. It updates from active to pending to sold so that you can go back in and check in. It does it all in real time. Same thing with the Beachmaker. That's really cool.
Thank you, Mike. That was awesome. I appreciate you doing that. We missed you, by the way. I hope Hawaii was fun.
Yeah, I didn't miss you guys.
No, I didn't miss you either then. Fine. All righty. So that's it for today. I guess go on to your office meetings. Have a great week and kill it.